Okay, let's read chat real quick. Why do you hate the Dragon Form episode? Oh, where do we begin? Okay, chat, I want you to decide right now. Do I answer this question or do I spare you the rant about Crystallized? Which one? Is there a way to put up a poll in chat?
12 seconds later.
84% wants me to do yes. 16% doesn't want to rant. So, you guys have done this to yourself. Dragon Form is a atrociously bad episode. Where do we begin? Oh yeah, so it starts with like the fight between Lloyd and Garmadon, and this first scene, pretty cool, how he like merges into the crystal. But the first immediate problem is the Overlord's design looks like crap. Like they have such an amazing design in the sets, right? Like that Sensuar design is so cool, and then in the show, it just looks awful. Like, hold on, I'm gonna try and find like a high-res image of it to kind of show you what I mean. Like in the sets, the Sensuar design is amazing, but the show version fumbles it so bad. I'm gonna pull up an image just to show you what I mean here. It's not something I'm gonna rest on for long because it's still like a fine enough version of the design, but it does feel like a complete just monumental fumble in terms of like translating an incredible design to a usually incredible looking show. Okay, so it debuts this horribly goofy design, and first of all, they just gave him breasts. Who knows why? And another thing is like they have this like pretty consistent utilitarian grey looking stone design, and then they just awkwardly pasted his Crystal King face on there. Like you can see the cutoff between the grey and the black, and it's just like, this is horribly ugly. They just took the design and literally pasted his face onto it. It looks terrible. Okay, so after he embraces the goofy Sensuar form... Oh god, did I just remove the background image? I just removed the background image. That's not good. The allies rock up, and this scene on paper is a really fun idea. Like having all of the allies unite after so much like division and turmoil throughout all the Wildbrain seasons is a great idea. That's the obvious natural route to take. But all of these allies are just cardboard cutouts of themselves. The appeal of having so many characters like meet up and like fight side by side is the interactions, because we actually care about these characters beyond them being cardboard cutouts and just random caricatures. None of these characters have any kind of voice lines except for one islander who says, "The King Benfamar of the Endless Sea." So pretty much all of the Wildbrain side characters, which are known for their like super cool... Okay, that too about the army of Shintaro. The army was hyped up literally for 2 years, and then it was 5 guys who did nothing, which is stupid. So yeah, all of the Wildbrain side characters are reduced to hollow caricatures of themselves that offer nothing to the story. They have no reason to be there. Then the ninja embraced dragon form, which is a pretty cool scene, but the whole prophecy is just generally so rushed. For example, right? Green Ninja Prophecy. That's built up across 2 seasons, so when it actually happens, incredibly impactful. The Quanish Prophecy is introduced like an episode or 2 before it happens. We have maybe 10 minutes of build up for this whole prophecy. If they introduced the Quanish Prophecy in like Seabound or Motum, or hell, even at the start of Crystallized, then sure. But there was no build up for this prophecy. They just desperately needed a reason for the ninja to go powerful. Just couldn't come up with an idea for it, so they were like, prophecy. Let's not do any of the legwork for it though. So the ninja were able to embrace the absolute highest form of their power because a bunch of people are standing around them, I guess, which is stupid, but like whatever. I get like the idea. It's like, oh, you're with your friends. That's really fun. And then it cuts back to the Overlord, and then it's time for the Great Devourer reveal. So, just to recap, this episode reveals that while the Overlord is completely debilitated, stuck on the Dark Island, and unable to do anything, he somehow managed to influence events in Ninjago to where he infected the Great Devourer, and then influenced it, specifically saying he possessed it in order to go and bite Garmadon. Supposedly while being so debilitated on the Dark Island to the point where, like, the season shows us he can't even see outside of heat. Like, somehow this completely debilitated Overlord managed to corrupt the Son of God and make him do his bidding. Lord knows how, but he did. Let's just not question it. Then we find out why this reveal happened. It was a complete ass pull to get Harumi on board with working with the ninja. And this redemption is incredibly whack. Harumi's like whole shtick is that like, oh, she has these incredibly extremist beliefs about how the ninja are not what Ninjago needs and how they're ruining the place. And these are never addressed. all she does is just redirect her hatred at the Overlord. She never, like, none of her behaviors are actually addressed. She, like, this redemption never, like, comes with an actual realization that what she was doing was wrong, or, like, a change in mindset. It's just, oh, I need to do everything I've been doing, but against someone else. And then I'm completely absolved of all evil for some reason, despite the fact that, like, I have a kill count of over 20 people. After this, one moment I do like is how, like, the final tipping point for Harumi, like, when she does start just, like, letting out her rage at the Overlord is when he threatens Garmadon. That's a really nice detail. So, Nia. Nia is completely victimized by this whole season. And the message is just straight up, Nia is worthless without her powers. She has literally nothing to contribute to this, like, to the team's efforts without her powers. Whilst Pixel is absolutely kicking ass and taking names. Like, literally, Pixel, powerless Nindroid, took on about 4 indestructible Vengestone warriors at once using only a sewer lid. Nia gets victimized by literally one of them because she doesn't have her powers. The season just completely, like, knocks down the character's worth. Just to, oh, she shoots water out of her head. And this episode reinforces that with the mechanic saying, like, oh, you're not a real ninja if you don't have powers. And then the season proves that. And this episode proves that. And then, even then, Nia isn't allowed to have that moment. Because you know who saves her? It's not herself. It's some random dude, Akino. He rocks up and he saves Nia. What message are we sending to young girls here? Okay, so after this, we have this Golden Vangelis scene, which is really cool. And then they purify the golden weapons. And, oh, this is the next thing. The council's conclusions are so whack. They're just completely bonkers in how nothing they are. So, okay. Pythor, the only reason people wanted him back is because his story was left up in the air. He ended up getting defeated by the ninja, and then we don't know what happens with him next. People wanted him back to get a solid conclusion. Crystallize finally brings him back after 6 years of absence, only to give him the exact same conclusion. Why did you even bother bringing him in? Asphera, her first ending was getting frozen in a block of ice by Zane. Her second ending, getting frozen in a block of ice by Zane. King Vangelis literally just gets knocked into a pothole, which is unbelievably lame. Mr. F's death is like, okay, or whatever it is. I don't know, it's up to interpretation, whatever that means. But, okay, so Crystal Council defeats Olwak, and then the Overlord starts charging up his final fart blast onto the Ninjago city. They got sent to prison after they were defeated. They were? When is this implied? Nowhere in these episodes is it implied they're sent to prison. If Tommy said that, that's one thing. But if you need external interviews or tweets to tell you the basic plot of the show, then the show's plot has fundamentally failed in telling you what it wants to be doing. You should not need to rely on a YouTube interview to understand what happened to the antagonists of the season. That is stupid, and that shows a misplacement of priorities. If it was so important that they went to prison, this is something the show should have said. And then the episode ends with this really cool scene of the Overlord charging up the crystal. Yeah, the cliffhanger at the end is decent, but it's not like I really care about the story. But like from a crafted scene perspective, it's a good cliffhanger. So yeah, there's some redeeming aspects, but I just think it's a terrible episode. I hope that pleased the one question, and like I say with the poll saying should I rant about Crystallized, I can't say I didn't warn you guys. I can't say I did not warn you. Oh, you can't say I didn't warn you. Please, no one ask me about Roots. No one ask me about Roots. I beg you.